It's time to get into solo leveling chapter 115. We kick off at the Federal Bureau of Hunters in America, where Miss Selner and the other liaison dude are apologizing to the head for not being able to get Sun Jin Woo to sign and come to America. They tell the head that, Sun Jin Woo is one of the kings, and then they go on to explain what a king is. So, Miss Selner says that all awakened hunters draw their powers from a place called the other side, and the connection between the two parties is what she can sense. Sometimes the force from the other side is so intense that some hunters appear as streaks of blinding light. Those people are usually referred to as kings, and they are on the level of a national level hunter, the best of the best. But Selner says that in his case, Sun Jin Woo, I saw no connection. The moment I looked into his eyes, the darkness inside of him stared back at me. He was darkness itself. So when the head asks, do you think this means Sun Jin Woo is an evil person? She goes, no, I'm not saying he is evil or not, but I'm just telling you about the source of his power, which is that Jin Woo does not borrow his strength from somewhere else. He does not have a connection to channel his powers. He uses his own strength, so there is no limit to Jin Woo's powers, which of course we know. He's not like a normal hunter who uses the other side. He's using the system. He's using something else. So, the head of the bureau, who is called Mr. Brennan, thank you for telling me this, he heads down to level 24 of the building, which is the basement, and he's like, well, if we can't use Miss Selner's abilities to get Jin Woo, we're gonna do something else. So he asked his little subordinate, do you remember the first ever S-rank gate that ever opened? It was apparently a huge catastrophe. It destroyed the entire West Coast area. America recruited the world's strongest hunters. Out of those hunters, only 5 survived the raid. Each one was given authority equal to that of a nation, which gave birth to the naming of national level hunters. The dungeon boss for that one was known as Kamish the Dragon. He's a super big dragon. This dragon killed, like I said, he killed hundreds of top level hunters. But Mr. Brennan says that, well, there's a bit of a silver lining, which is the rune stone that they found in Kamish's corpse when they inevitably killed him. He said that there is yet to be a national level hunter mage who's a mage type. So this rune stone has just been waiting in the basement for its rightful owner to arrive, and now it seems like it has. So what they're gonna do is their plan is to lure Jin Woo in with like, hey, you want to use the runestone? Because remember, Jin Woo has been classified as a mage type S-rank hunter, so they're gonna use that to their advantage, it seems. So you know what, fair play. I mean, we know he's not gonna take it, but fair play to them. So Jin Woo's looking at himself in the mirror, and legitimately he's just like, am I handsome? Am I handsome? Do people like me? Buddy, let me tell you, the entire internet loves you. There is a great scene where he's like, am I all that? Like, do I look that good? And there's a little author's note, and he says, nope, he doesn't look like that much to me. It's great. Thank you, author. I love that. Jin Woo starts to ask, like, do I look handsomer because of the system? Like, because the system, repaired all damages to his body, right? So he's like, did it just, like, repair me so I'm handsome now? He's like, okay, but I need an opinion. So he asks the worst person possible, his younger sister. If you ever want to ask someone, hey, do I look good? Am I looking good? Never ask your sibling. They'll always say you look like crap. So he asked Jinna, he says, how would you rate me? And she's like, in terms of what? And he's like, in terms of attractiveness. And she's like, where is this coming from? He's like, in my eyes, you look like a bum. And he's like, oh, well, thank you. He then tells her that he's like, I'm planning on opening a guild. And he's like, you're gonna be the big boss. And at this time, she's texting Sun Hee. And she's like, you're never gonna believe my brother just asked me to raid him. What a freaking dork. I mean, we know Sun Hee she'd raid Jin Woo. And he asks her, what do you think about the name Solo Play for the guild? And she's like, why would you do that? He's like, wait, is that good? She's like, you use your abilities to summon shadow soldiers. You're not exactly a solo player. And he's like, oh, I mean, yeah, I guess. So she suggests, what about the Ajin Guild? She says, the characters A means I, and Jin means to go forward, right? And she's like, well, I actually chose it just because, it's my name backwards. Okay, fair enough. And he's like, you know what? That's not too bad a name. And I don't think it's too bad a name either. Ajin Guild. Much better than the solo play. So we move on. To Cha's house, and she's yelling in her pillow. Because of what she said last time, where she said, I think so. When Jinwoo asked, is my guild, he's like, are you here for me? She's like, I think so. She's not she's not hailing it too well. So she is replaying that after what happened last chapter. Jinwoo told her, I don't think joining my guild is the best option for you. And she's just like, oh, he thinks I'm crazy. And she's like trying to rationale with herself. She's like, he saved my life, so of course I'd be interested in it. It's normal. This is perfectly normal. And she's like, never mind. It's not normal. This is good. This is good. Now, important thing here, besides this being very cute and fun, Cha has a memory, and this memory is when Byung-gu, his shadow, healed her. He actually spoke to her as he was saving her. And he tells her, tell Jinwoo that he has to be careful. He has to be careful of the power that lies within him. And she's just like, oh my god, I remember. I have to tell him this. So that's where chapter 115 leaves off. And now we move into chapter 116. So we go to a different guild. This is the guild that has the A rank dude and his like super funny subordinate. I'll show the picture of them right here so you know who I'm talking about. You know these guys, right? So they're just talking about how there's a new gate has opened. It's very high, and it's difficult for people to get permission, and especially difficult for their guild to get permission. And the head's just like, is it like an S rank or something? He's like, no, but the Hunters Association said it's pretty close to 1. He said if it was an S rank gate, giving up would probably be the best option because our guild doesn't really have the manpower to do that. And he's like, and it's better maybe we don't touch it because we're one of the biggest guilds. If we fail to do it, that would, the confidence, the morale of people would just go down. But the head is like, the real problem is that most people think that all A rank gates are the same, right? They don't understand that there's actually different types of A rank gates. There's like high A rank, low A rank, that type of shit. And his buddy is just like, if we don't do this, the guys at the other guilds, they're gonna jump at this opportunity, right? However, one of the other people, she's a healer, she shows up and she's like, why don't we just form an alliance with another guild and then tackle this together? And the head's like, you really think another guild's gonna agree to this? He's like, there's no way they'll do it. And she's like, okay, well then what about one person instead of a guild? And then it clicks with him. And she's like, yeah, you know who I'm talking about, right? And he goes, yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. He said, now creating an alliance with another guild will give us a bad name, but the public will acknowledge them more if they join forces with Jinwoo, because Jinwoo's super popular. And plus, with Jinwoo, we're gonna have a good chance of clearing this gate. So they decide that it's time to go meet Jinwoo. They're gonna pay him a visit in person. So at Jinwoo's little hub-based guild, Jinwoo proposes the idea. What do you think about Ajin as the name for the guild? What do you think about Ajin for the name of the guild? And Jinwoo is just like, yes, that's wonderful. Let's do that. Because he's like, anything is better than solo play guild. That name sucks ass. And Jinwoo's like, okay. So now that that's done, we still need our last member. And Jinwoo is just like, what about Hunter Cha? What about all that happened yesterday? And he's like, I don't think she's a good fit for what we're doing. And he's like, what? What type of person are you looking for then? And he's like, well, someone with a hunter's license and who has no interest in actually joining a guild, but they're still trustworthy. And he's like, well, and Jato's like, well, there's a couple people I can think of. But before they can get the discussion going anymore, the knock at the door is there, and it's those boys from the Knights Guild. The head of it introduces his name as Park Junso, which they've done this before, right? Like, he's introduced himself before, but I don't remember, dude. I don't remember. But they're all there like, hey, we talk. Can we talk? So they get to talk, right? And he shows them footage of the giant gate that's appeared. He's like, the amount of mana that this gate is emanating is crazy, right? And he says it's the largest gate to ever appear in Busan City. And after he told Jinwoo this, Jinwoo was just like, Busan, maybe I should meet up with Juhi and go for lunch. Because that's priorities, I guess, right? So he, gives the whole thing, right? He's like, the Hunters Association, they're not letting anyone do this. But if we had you on our team, we're sure we can get permission to do this, right? As he's explaining this to Jinwoo, the healer, she's thinking, like, maybe I can get an autograph from Jinwoo. That's sweet. He goes, he lays out the proposition, right? Like, Jinwoo comes with them. He goes, when a major guild raids a dungeon, an S-rank hunter usually gets about 10% of the profits. This is nice, right? To let you know about how the world works, right? So he says, however, we're looking to bump that up to 20%. Jinwoo says 50-50. And he goes, how about 40-60? Jinwoo's like, I'm not negotiating. And the guy goes, okay, 50-50. Because, Jinwoo holds all the cards here, right? So, they all, make plans. Jinwoo will meet them there tomorrow at the gate. Everything's good, right? Jinwoo gets a call on his phone, and the call is from his mom. Awesome sauce, right? And the mom's just like, I just wanted to hear you. It's been a while since we've talked, And Jinwoo's just like, this is good. He gets to talk to his mom, right? Because this was all he was building towards, saving his mom, and his mom is alive. So he just tells his mom, you know what? Let's have dinner tonight, right? She's like, sure. Love that, right? That's nice. That's real nice. So, at the huge gate, Park is like, I knew yesterday I should have told Jinwoo you're coming with us because it's 11 o'clock and we got to start 5 minutes. And there's no sign of Jinwoo. Of course, Jinwoo's not in any rush because he can just use Shadow Exchange to get there. That's exactly what he does. So, we move from Jinwoo into a high school where there's just a bunch of high school guys, and they're like, damn, the art teacher's asking us to go get these supplies and all that. But when they get to the supply room, they see there's a gate in the room. And they're like, whoa, what the hell? And one guy's like, calm down, guys. Calm down. Hunters are the only ones that can actually pass through the gates, right? And it takes like a week for gates to actually open, right? And one of his friends like, but wait, wasn't this room just neglected all term? And they're like, oh crap. The gate opens, and they die. These kids die. And that's how we end chapter 116. So moving to 117, the kids are dead, and out comes two monsters. They look like ogre-ish, orcish, you know what I mean? And they are smart ones. They can talk. And one of them's like, oh, there's a floor above us. And then one after that, he goes, we're in this complex structure. It's like a castle. And their basic plan is just, let's just kill everyone in here. Let's do it. Right? They said that they will begin the real hunt after murdering everyone in this castle and fortifying the position. So that's what they do. They just go around and they just murder a bunch of high school students. Fun time. So Jinwoo arrives at the gate, this huge gate. And, hunters see him and they're like, oh my god, you're here! Like, they're so excited to freaking see this man. And they're asking him a bunch of questions. And like, oh my god, you're going to lead the raid today. This is going to be awesome. Like, oh my god, wow. And then Park's just like, oh, actually, I am leading the raid. And all the guilds just like, really? You? He's like, we have Jinwoo here. What the hell? And he's like, no, Jinwoo's going to be in charge of the backline. Okay? Right? He's like, we're in charge of the backline. I just love that like the whole guild is just like, really? You're gonna do it? So, they all rush into the gate. Awesome. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, while we did all this fun little, oh, let's go to the gate, there are high school students still getting murdered. So let's go back to the Hunters Association emergency line. So this is another world-building thing. People can call this hotline, and I'm assuming, they say, here's a problem, and then they send a hunter out to do it, right? So one girl is hiding in a bathroom, and she has called this hotline because of, all the ogres happening, what's happening at the school, right? And just, I'm hiding in the bathroom, there's all these monsters, and, the helpline person's just like, okay, she's like trying to talk her through this. What type of monsters are they? And she describes them to them, and they agree, and then the person tells her they're orcs. So there you go. They're not ogres, they're orcs. However, while they're doing this, the orc finds her in the bathroom and kills her. And that's great. So, half of the students managed to escape. Half of the school manages to escape. The other half, dead. Killed half the school is dead. But there's still some in other floors that were trapped, right? Obviously. So these students like barricaded themselves in their classroom, and they got like chairs and stuff to like fight. But the door is blown away. The orcs get ready to attack. But we see that there's two students in here who are very, very important. Two of the students in this classroom that is about to be killed by orcs is Sung Yi and Jinna. And that's where we end. We're gonna end it there. Cliffhanger. Keep you excited. Now you want to know more, don't ya? So there we go. This was fun. We got to see Cha embarrass herself over Jinwoo, and I love that. We got to see that apparently, Byung-gu actually told her, be careful of Jinwoo's power, and that was a big thing, was talking about Jinwoo's power and kind of where it comes from. Because obviously he's not like every other hunter, he uses the system. So there's that. That was fun. We finally get a name for his guild, the Ajin Guild. Huge gate, like the biggest gate in a freaking while comes, and Jinwoo's gonna go do that. But we also have all those orcs coming into the school to attack, and I'm sure when Jinwoo realizes his sister is in trouble, something's gonna happen. I believe Jinna also has like a shadow following her, right? So that shadow might alert him, and then he'll shadow exchange out the gate to Jinna, I'm assuming. So there we go. That is solo leveling 115 through 117. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below, and I will see you all next week where we start from 118.